Hello, my name is Jelelle, and this is day 7 of my 33-day video series called Deepen. And today I have this being with me, this bright being named Kalayna.
Hi.
Colibri. And you're probably familiar with Kalayna if you follow all of us in SoulFullHeart who write and share writings and videos. Kalayna, you write nearly daily.
Usually a few times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Sometimes I have an off week and don't, but usually.
So Kalayna's been involved in this process for 6 years? Something? 7?
Off and on.
Off and on?
Yeah.
Is a facilitator for women 25 and under. So this is also to have you get a sense of Kalayna. If you are a woman under 25 or 25, this gives you a chance to feel into especially what we're offering today, which is around the divine feminine and the divine mother. So the first thing that comes to me, Kalayna, is that to me, divine mother is different than goddess.
Yes.
How do you feel like it's different in your experience?
Well, my soul can almost answer that question. I think yours can too. There's we both have a lot of priestess in our souls, and I think many women do, even men probably as well. The main difference between goddess and mother is goddess tends to have a warrior aspect to her, if not be primarily warrior and vengeance. And vengeance is, when I say that, even I feel the energy of it. There's a lot of that with it, or telling people to go to war and making sure that you're fighting back. You know, the ultimate feminist, if you will. Perhaps that's she's very archetypal in terms of that. And but mother has all these different faces, but the warrior isn't one of them. Right. In my experience,
what's coming to me is this: what we used to in other timelines, the will of the goddess.
Right.
So there was this divine will, the will, which is different than divine mother. It's not her will, it's your will that she's supporting you to actually discover what that is at a higher vibrational frequency and really what your soul's will is.
It's more of a collaborative energy in that way. Mother is not a dictator. She's not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do, or these are the rules of life and this is how you live it. It's not like that. It's actually, she wants very much to collaborate with you and give you the space to feel. That's the biggest thing she offers, is feeling. You're so held by her energy to and have that inform what your next choices are and your next action steps are, but she doesn't tell you what to do.
Yeah, and when you're talking about a mother energy that tells you what to do, I immediately think of more the inner mother, which we work with in our SoulFullHeart process, and I'm going to do a video about her coming up. And the inner mother is usually a internalization of your birth mother for both men and women. It's either a direct internalization or it's a push away, or it can kind of be both. I'm noticing too. If it's both a push away and an internalization, that usually has to do with an inner teenager and an inner mother and their relationship. But this inner, I think often when we think of divine mother, it gets overlaid, or a projection of inner mother gets put on her. So that's something to open up that connection. We work with your inner mother to get her to relax, to pull out of that mother space so that you can let in more of the divine mother. How have you experienced that?
Well, for me, it was a big part of that actually was taking space from my birth mother in this lifetime.
Me too.
And without doing that, it would have been really difficult to feel mother. It was actually, when I first started this process, it was really difficult for me to even grasp that there was a she god, that there was a her out there. a feminine energy, because
even though you have so much goddess in your soul.
Right. I think I always kind of knew, but it was hard to get a sense of her because I had, such an intense experience with my own mother growing up, deep entanglement and everything. So it was really hard to get a sense of a goddess mother, of a feminine mother, divine mother, that wasn't in the same way, that doesn't treat you in the same way, hold you in the same way as your birth mother does. And that's not anything against my birth mother, just it's just a very different experience. And so that was really important for my process, and I think that's really important if you're working with your inner mother, to take that space so that she can start to feel who she really is. That was definitely important for when I worked with my inner mother, which it feels like was a long time ago now. So that, because these parts of us have these imprints from birth family or other caregivers or important people in our lives, but they're not that energy. They've just templated off of it as a way to get through life, or a way to be in relationships, and a way to relate to everything.
And what's I'm also feeling in the moment is that really when we talk about the divine and the divine connection with the divine mother or the divine father, what we're looking at is being a daughter or being a son with the divine. And it's a very personal, intimate frequency. And it's something that I don't feel so much in our religions, and sometimes in our spiritualities too. It's a very intimate frequency. And I think the reason it's challenging to be with is because of this wounding.
Right.
Our wounded daughter, for example, is our daughter that's been wounded by the relationship with especially our mother. Is going to have a challenge to let in pure, divine mother, compassionate, forgiving, wonderful energies. That's just not going to be possible. So I'll, when working with women, they'll tell me, oh, I want to let in mother. I can feel her come through you, and I want to let her in. But then their wounded daughter is there. And then usually there's a wounded daughter, and then there's a protector. There's a masculine protector that's trying to protect that wounded daughter. So the masculine protector has a hard time letting in.
Well, the masculine protectors had to do so much work to often keep the birth mother out.
Yes.
As much as possible.
Especially if it's an invasive mother, a narcissistic, as we call it, invasive mother. Yeah.
So the protector, usually very masculine energy, sometimes they're feminine, but that's rare.
It's usually warrior,
or very warrior feminine. So masculinized feminine. They do need that space as well from all of birth family, because they've worked so hard to protect you from your birth family, is often the case, or to isolate you from even other relationships in your life too. So it becomes really difficult to let in divine frequencies, divine love that is genuinely unconditional, when you still are somehow hooked in, and the protector is still working really hard to.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead. I'm just thinking, it's coming to me for the meditation that we do today. We want to introduce you to some of the faces and forms of mother that I've already pulled in. I think I pulled in this series already. Magdalene, Sophia. Is that it? I think that might be it so far. We want to introduce you to some of these faces of mother, but I'm also feeling to bring in the protector as well, so you can feel, how does your protector relate to mother? What comes up for him around that? And if you're a man, that's also your exploration. As a man, how do you, I think whenever, again, you're looking at, I want a connection with the divine mother, you're looking at what is your connection to your own mother? What is your connection to your birth mother? Because that is directly correlated. For me, I didn't receive many nurturing frequencies from my birth mother. So there was a real wound around being nurtured. So when I began to connect with the divine mother, that's what I received a lot of, especially from Mother Mary. Was a whole lot of nurturing, a lot of holding, a lot of pink energies, soft energies. It was just such a balm. But I had to, before I could let her in, I had to go through a process of working with different masculine aspects of me that were angry, protective, just could not let in that nurturing.
So a lot of patriarchal energies too is coming to me. Because the patriarchy, actually the very, very wounded aspects of the patriarchy have worked so hard, very deliberately, to keep the mother out, to keep Divine Mother out of our religions, of our spirit, even our spiritual, even New Age spirituality that talks about Divine Mother sometimes is like so off track in the way that I've experienced her personally. And again, it's individual, but you know, and so there's just a lot to weed through in terms of even the patriarchal imprint that is so deep, and so deep in our parts, so deep in so many parts, not just the protector, but the inner mother often is a very matriarchal. So the antithesis of the patriarch in one way, but also a patriarch in another way. That might twist your brain a little bit. But if you really feel that energy inside of you, that can be really intensely feminist sometimes in moments, especially if you're a woman or really looking for a battle, waiting for the next phase of being a suffragette. That's in my soul. So it's probably, it might be in yours too if you're listening to this and you're a woman or a man. You know, all of that has to be weeded through before a mother can really come in, because she's not going to force her way in the door. That's not what she's here to do. So she's kind of the balm on the other side of feeling through all of that guck.
We are going to explore today the Dark Mother, which to me is really the death and rebirth energy. It's the capacity to burn something down because it needs to be let go of. It's catalytic. It's like how sometimes an earthquake is the only way things will shake up. And I believe that's also contained in Gaia. Gaia can move into that Dark Mother frequency when needed and necessary. So Dark Mother to me is not evil, not a destroyer for no reason, for violence, but in order to lead a resurrection of the new. So when we meet Dark Mother today, do kind of check in if there's feelings of fear or resistance toward her. That's understandable and something that you just want to kind of be with and feel. We're also going to work with Mother Mary. You may feel a Catholic conditioning come in, or even a resistance to her. I've seen that too. If you had very strong Catholic upbringing, there's kind of a Mary. Even as sometimes there's quite a attachment to Mary as well. So I think we'll go into the meditation now. And as always, whatever you see and feel, if you just pass out,
Okay.
That's good too. I've been hearing that from people. I had to watch your video 5 times, but I finally stayed awake through it.
It actually happens to me all the time, and I'm listening to her for years now, but I still pass out sometimes. I'll be awake for like the first few minutes, and then I'm out.
I always trust
but
that.
That's just part of the...
or I've had people like black out, or space out on certain aspects, and then wake up in the middle of something.
So you can trust, then on that note, you can trust that you'll let in whatever faces you're supposed to let in of the mother today. And if you pass out during one of them, that's okay.
Luckily, the videos are recorded, so you can go back and listen, get something different each time. That's the idea of them. Okay. Begin to, as you close your eyes, it's kind of natural to start bringing your focus inward. Feeling your breath. See the usual white light around us, holding this exploration to meet these different faces of Mother. Go ahead and invite your... Oh, actually I'm being guided that we'll do this in front of your castle. So go ahead and walk down the path in the forest toward your castle. This castle, which I've brought into a couple other meditations, represents your essence as it is right now. And however you see that castle, it may be dark, maybe light, maybe big, maybe small. Just take that in for a moment. Then we're going to invite your protector, who's the protector of this castle, to come forward. You may already have met him. We introduced you to him in day 2. Maybe this is your first time. Protectors are usually masculine. They have some kind of armor and often a weapon. If you've already met yours and been doing some connecting with them, then they're probably softer. And they may even come to you today in a whole new form. I'm seeing that some of them may dress up a little bit to meet Mother. That feels sweet. Or some of them may put on more armor. I don't know, depending on where they are. So she's kind of telling me that she wants us to go into different courtyards around the castle, which feels sweet. So we will go into the first, it looks like a courtyard on the right side. Not into the castle, but kind of on the right side of it. And this courtyard has red roses all around it. So red rose bushes and candles, candelabras. There's a beautiful fountain in the middle of it. And I can immediately feel Magdalene. What do you see, Kalayna, of Magdalene?
I see her walking through to you, to us. Her flowing red hair. Kind of crazy hair.
Like yours, but longer?
Yeah, I was going to say like mine. She guided me to just let my hair go today, so I did. And she wears very long silk and sometimes different fabrics, but flowy gown or flowy dress. Long sleeves.
Do you hear her saying anything to us?
I hear her saying, whispering a reminder of love, loving yourself, loving your body, which just feels so important for this ascension process we're all in, this healing process. To just remember love and keep remembering the love that you are.
And the inner sacred union we've been writing about so much lately and sharing about. Magdalene really holds that, the feminine side of that.
Yes.
So the activation of the purification of our sexuality, so we can feel like maidens again, and the male version of that. So I feel her offering about that as well. This inner sacred union to embrace our feminine and our masculine. And you may feel your protector taking that in. responding to her. Maybe he's attracted to Magdalene.
Maybe you'll feel your inner masculine, even if you're a woman, whether it's your protector or another part, really drawn to her in correspondence to the masculine energy inside.
So this gives you a visceral sense of her to let in. You take a moment to connect with her and see if there's anything specific she wants to offer you, messages or pictures.
I see her actually taking the hand of some young parts of people to dance with her, to remember aliveness and lightness in such an intense phase in this collective.
Thank you, Magdalene.
Thank
I also like calling her Maggie, depending on what her energy is. Magdalena is also
the frequency of a sacred sister.
So we're going to move now to the next courtyard, which looks like it's to the left. Not totally logical, but that's okay. This courtyard is very zen. Bamboo platform, not willow, but I can't put words. What is that? Cherry blossom trees. And Kuan Yin comes in, is here. Buddhistava, to offer this compassion and mercy and access to the cries of the world. Kuan Yin also activates our non-dual connection beyond duality, beyond our minds, beyond 3D conditioning. And she usually looks Asian to me. She does today. She has beautiful silk robes on today. She's quite dressed up today.
Yes, she is.
It's quite elaborate. She's inviting us to sit lotus in front of her. As soon as I'm in her presence, I feel relaxed.
Me too.
Something breathing.
Kuan Yin brings messages of stillness. That's what I keep getting from her. To remember stillness. Stillness is still active in its own way. Permission to just be.
I feel a lot of Kuan Yin when I'm doing yoga. And just that focusing on the breath and the movement of the body at the same time.
Just being in the body.
Just being in the body, yeah. Kuan Yin also goes beyond the body, beyond the mind, to, again, a non-dual place where the mental grid is not so tight. I've had infusions with her where I can't remember what things are called. Just can't grab the name because there's such a spacious feeling in the mental body. And we really need that. She likes to say to me, too much busy mind. Busy mind. So that's something a lot of us have, especially in our 3D culture. It's a lot of busy mind.
A lot of forgetting, too, in 3D, what's really important, what really has value.
So take a moment to connect with Kuan Yin, see if there's anything she wants to offer you and your protector, who I see sitting lotus style there. It's good for a protector to do that, even in armor. This might be kind of challenging. Just see if there's any images or messages that you need to receive from her in this moment. And we're going to move on, because they seem to, so many want to introduce themselves today. I'm seeing 3 more, so we'll extend. I'll try to extend time, because they're kind of teaching me, Mother's teaching me how to do that more. So next the next courtyard is sort of next to this one on the left. And as we walk in, I see pink roses. There's some yellow roses. Somehow there's blue roses too. I'm not sure those exist.
For the masculine.
Maybe. And it's little birds tweeting around, and it's definitely Mary, Mother Mary. There's really comfortable looking seating that she has for us, and she's there in her light blue cloak with her arms outstretched to us to come sit with her. And I feel Mary and I smile. Like, that's the reaction. She just means so much to me and parts of me. Mary has really been the mother that I didn't have, meaning the frequencies that I most needed. And she also has, particularly if you've experienced sexual abuse, which I think we all have in some form or another, even if it was energetic. Mary is really amazing at helping heal that, reminding us of our purity and innocence, and offering a frequency of forgiveness. She's the great equalizer.
She may wrap you in a nice warm hug, if your protector's okay with that. She may wrap him in a hug. Actually.
Yeah. If anyone could get away with it, it'd be Mary.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take a moment and check in, tune in to see if Mary wants to offer you anything specific. An image or a message or words. You may feel your inner child come out around her. Thank you, Mary. The next one is also to the left. They just keep popping up. Next courtyard. And this courtyard is gilded gold everywhere. It's really beautiful and shiny. And there's this feeling of clarity. And this is Sophia. She's wanted me lately to call her Divine Sophia, Goddess Sophia, kind of seems to be both. And she's quite regal feeling to me. Long brown hair and lately gold robes. A lot of gold. So there's very plush seats here for us to sit. So Sophia activates, it's almost a masculine energy, because there's a mental clarity, there's a soul clarity, there's knowledge, soul's knowledge, but it's the feminine of that. It's a feminine frequency of knowledge, and it's very empowering. So I bring her in, or she seems to show up when that kind of clarity is needed, and particularly around soul purpose and serving love. So Sophia really activated for me in the last couple of years. I feel her often paired with Metatron as an energy. She also has a very strong frequency of forgiveness as well.
Mm-hmm. She may feel familiar to your soul as the closest representation of the goddess.
Yeah.
But a much softer version than the warrior.
I don't feel any warrior in her.
No.
But that wisdom is sharp.
She has owls. She has birds around her. I see doves and owls. And...
Oh, yeah. Kuan Yin had little Tweety birds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Birds, by the way, are quite a Divine Mother totem. So if you're out and you see different birds, particularly ones you're not used to seeing, that's usually the mother. Or, of course, finding feathers is another way. Just take a moment here to tune into Sophia. Is there any messages or images that she wants to share with you? Wisdoms, clarities. She's particularly connected to higher timeline shiftings.
Courage to do what you need
yes,
to do.
and empowering your inner masculine.
Yes.
So your protector might quite enjoy connecting with her. She might be a face of mother that's actually the easiest to connect with initially. She's a good bridge that way. Whereas Mary might be more challenging initially. Okay, thank you, Sophia.
Thank you.
It's a mother tour.
This is cool.
Yeah, I'm having fun. The next and the final one is to another left. This one is a courtyard, but it's somehow domed. And it's quite dark in here. There's some torches for light, so it's not completely pitch black, and there's a feeling of it being safe. And in this dome is the Dark Mother, who I can see sometimes just with a cloak over her where I can't really see her face. And sometimes I see her as Kali, although not quite such a fierce version of Kali. You know, not a man destroyer or anything like that. But Dark Mother has a mystery about her. So when she's around, you can feel like the power of the moon, for example. When there's a new moon and there's no light in the sky, there's so much possibility. And we can be afraid of that possibility because we don't know. So she really she can bring up a fear of the unknown, a fear of our own shadow. Well, she doesn't bring that up, but she can actually help us connect to our shadow in a meaningful way that helps us heal. And particularly the denser, darker timelines in our meta soul where we were perpetrators, abusers, false leaders. These harder things to hold and be with. She kind of makes sure we don't bypass anything.
She offers tones of love, even though she helps to light the fire that burns away what isn't real, what isn't love.
Is no longer serving you.
What is no longer serving.
There's a feeling when connecting in a Dark Mother phase that you're held but it's not sentimentally.
Right.
It's not like Mary. It's unsentimental in order to help you move through what needs to be moved through. So it does have almost a masculine energy to it, in a good way. So take a moment to connect with Dark Mother and any images or messages that you receive from her, or feelings you feel from being around her. Some people have deep soul recognition with the Dark Mother energies. Actually can be quite moving and meaningful for them when they're not resisting her. You can't really resist Dark Mother.
No, she kind of moves in like this. Get this image of this being that comes in and shrouds your world in darkness, so that you can see the darkness and you can go into it.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't ignore that. You can't bypass that when that happens.
Mm-hmm.
It's unmistakable.
Okay, we will move out of that final courtyard. Say goodbye to our protector for now, and
thank them for coming with us on this journey.
Yeah. And thank you to Mother for showing up today in all these forms, bridges and ways for us to connect to you. Thank you for loving us so much.
Thank you for being there, being the light and the darkness, and holding us through it all.
Definitely. So go ahead and open your eyes and come back into now. And thank you for joining us today. You might want to do this one a few times to see what comes up, see what you might, like we said, fall asleep during 3 of the faces and wake up in the middle of one of them. And I would trust that, whatever happens. Thank you, Kalayna.
Thank you for having me.
Sure. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.
Bye.